Hey everybody, welcome to Scary Movie Saturdays with Kyle. Today we're going to be talking about the debut film from Jose Ramon Larraz, director who's also known for directing Vampires, the lesbian vampire film that has a Y in it, or The Coming of Sin, as well as slasher films like Edge of the Axe, which has that amazing poster, and one day, yes, we will talk about it.
And of course, we get Nosferatu coming in Christmas.
Yeah, so we're going to have to talk more about this, right?
More vampires.
Today we're going to be talking about his debut film, Whirlpool, which... unfortunately, I didn't realize was going to be the first time we talked about an X-rated film on this show. And hey, since we're 30 seconds into the episode, so I can now sing "Let's All Go to the Smut House." All right. So recently we talked about 8mm over on the 90s with Nick show, and this is the first film that was something I'd never seen before. This came out in 1970, super low budget, using a lot of the same people that Jose Ramon Larraz would use in other films, but this one, definitely he knew what's going to sell: sex, violence. It was kind of the time. But the film feels almost like The Last House on the Left minus the happy ending. It's like a rape revenge story where they forgot to put the revenge. And so that's going to be like your litmus test, is if you feel like you can handle that. Because the movie is about 85 minutes of actual subjugation of the main female character, which can be really difficult to watch. I've had a number of times where I've had to turn off the film. This was one where I found the mystery around it kind of enticing, and the two villainous characters, the aunt and her nephew, which, God, I really hope they're not related, they're interesting and strange characters that you kind of want to peel back the layers for, and maybe we don't get fully peeled back layers, and maybe we don't like.
It's funny that this is almost like New Extremities before New
Extremities.
In
a number of ways. Yeah, and so
the early 2000s, New Extremities kind
of his films, which I've only seen one. This would not be the one that I would recommend going to first. It definitely seems like the more popular Vampires or Edge of the Axe would probably be your better choice, and we'll cover those in a future episode. This one features Carl Lanchberg, who actually worked on Larraz's first three films, and he usually played kind of similar characters, these like scummy photographer style young people who definitely don't know what their powers are. We also have Penthouse Pet of the Month Vivian Neves, who was actually known at the time for a little bit of scandal. She appeared fully nude in a Friesen Chemicals ad in the Times, which was a big deal because while women were topless occasionally in ads in the Times, this was the first fully nude one, and she kind of became notable for that. This was something she was comfortable doing because she had spent a lot of time in various jobs being nude, and she spends a lot of this film getting that way as well. But I think she has this kind of innocence that even when she is notable for being a nude model, she's able to carry on this virginal look to her the entire film. The film, in case you don't know about it, does follow a aunt and her son, they say they're not related, who occasionally take in beautiful young women to live at their cottage house with them before subjugating them to horrible acts, and some of them go missing, and we never really learn what happens to them. So you may also recognize this film if you are from the UK. It was released there in a 70-minute version where they cut most of the X-rated stuff out in order to not get it on the Video Nasties list. It was called She Died With Her Boots On, which, yeah, that's a choice for titles. I don't know. It's probably better than Whirlpool, but I don't know if it's much better. The movie has an extremely bleak ending, and if you haven't had a chance to see it and you don't even know what movie I'm talking about, really, that's because this thing has been out of print for 49 years. Basically, it was released in 1970, never had a home video release until Arrow Video, thank God for Arrow Video, combined this with two other Jose Ramon Larraz films in a box set called Blood Hunger, which features a couple of his other films.
Well, no wonder I didn't find it in all the obscure video rental categories, those catch-alls.
Yeah, this definitely seems like the kind of movie that someone catches on a VHS tape, maybe, and then is able to kind of like pass it around to their buddies, and that's kind of what it feels like. It feels like you're something you're not supposed to be watching, something that people are going to come after Nicolas Cage for looking for.
It's one of those, they put those in the closet at the old closet mom and pop video stores.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you have to go behind the curtain. Behind the curtain is where Whirlpool is.
Yeah.
So I will say this: it is not a movie that I can wholeheartedly recommend for the feel-good crowd out there, but I do think that there's enough flair to the filmmaking techniques and enough absolute confusion as to the main characters and their plot that did make me want to find out what happens near the end of the film. And that's something that I actually think is quite rare, because I do think when you have these movies that end on the bleakest possible note, those aren't kinds of movies that I'm really all that interested in. You really got to sell me on the story leading up to the bleak ending before I'm going to be involved in what's to come. And this is one where I was not fully taken, but I was curious and I wanted to follow this trail of breadcrumbs. And it led to a place that I'm not entirely comfortable I went. But you know what? That's the thing about great art, is that great art tends to take you to places you're not comfortable with as well. So those are my thoughts on Whirlpool. Once you've had a chance to check out the film, which is now, I think, available on streaming in some forms as well from the Arrow streaming service, let me know your thoughts down in the comments section below. It's a peculiar little movie, and I'm so happy that I got a chance to check it out. It kind of feels like I found London After Midnight, decades after it was, lost to time. And I hope that we get to have more films like this hit physical media, because we're losing that kind of touchstone right now. Movies are disappearing, and I'm so thankful that even if Whirlpool's not for you, and it will not be for a lot of you, that it at least exists.
Before you go, it feels very much, it sounds like Irreversible.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's got that thing of you should be ashamed of yourself for watching it. And don't worry, I've got shame enough to go around.
Oh, there's
but
Serbian film.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, my God, yeah.
One day we'll cover all that in a feel-good session, maybe at the beginning of a new year. But you can also join me next time. We're going to be talking about a film I've been wanting to talk about for a while. It's finally in my possession. We're going to be talking about Armando Osorio's Tombs of the Living Dead. So join us for some Knights Templar, and we'll ride into the sunset.